Ed and Brody, what's up, guys? It's Coach Mac. Ed, I saw you post this video. Figured I'd give you my 2 cents. There's a lot of sense going around on the internet. You know that. But, Brody, I love how hard you work, my man. And someday you're going to be bigger, faster, and stronger, and you're going to be a beast. Not that you're not already, but love how hard you guys work. But here's kind of what I see. And some of this you got to take with a grain of salt, Ed, because right, he's still developing. What are you, 11 now? Strength can always be an issue and a component, and I know you're doing a lot of strength training too. But I want you to watch your first move. Okay, what you're trying to do here, what you should be trying to do, is driving off your back foot. Okay. If you drive off of your back foot hard enough, what it's going to do, okay, is it's going to force your hips to start working in that direction. Driving off your back foot is going to create ground force into this front foot as well. If you watch real closely, to me it looks like you're pushing into your front foot more than you're pushing off your back. See it? Now, you'll know Brody better than I do based upon how you feel when you're doing this. But just an observation. So footwork, very similar to fielding a ground ball, right to left, left to the target. Generally speaking, in catching, the quicker that rear foot can get down, and the quicker your feet get down, the quicker your throw is going to be. So if we watch, let me see if I can get this good. Right there, we're starting. So if we watch, let's take a look how right to left and left to the target look. So you come up out of your crouch. Right there, you look pretty good. You're generating forward momentum off of that front foot. So you created a lot of energy into that front leg, which looks good. Let's bring the back leg forward. It's coming forward decent and around, so your right to left is pretty good. And some guys have a little longer right to left. Some guys have a little shorter right to left. And I don't think there's an absolute, Ed. It's what works best and what's quickest for the player. Now, if you were tossing a ball to him, what I would want to see is at right foot plant, so right there, that the ball is coming out of the glove, and it looks like that's what's happening. So that right to left here looks pretty decent. Ball's coming out of the glove. Should be coming out of the glove thumbs down. As the ball comes out, you want to have that tight V. And I'm pretty sure in your post you're trying to clean up some of his arm length. So that's obviously something you got to keep working on. At this point right here, if you look at high-level catchers, their arm will be, how the heck am I going to draw this? More in here. If that makes sense. So this not being out here, I don't really know how to draw it. Well, from there, instead of that being there, it would be here. So the arm would look more like that. It's more of an inside 90 as you're working your way up. Now, what's interesting, Ed, what you can see is a lot of guys throw similar to how they hit and vice versa. And why can't I get this going? There we go. Brody likes to scap load and raise his elbow when he hits. And it's really kind of the same thing he's doing as he throws. So tightening up that arm action, continue to work on that will help. Now what I really want you to focus on is right to left, left to the target, right? So if we look at where the right foot is, I'm going to guess that back heel is pretty much coming off of about the inside corner of the plate, right? So if we're going right to left, left to target, this front foot should really be on this path. And if you watch it, it's going to go more down towards the third base path. He never fully gets his hips square. Right now, his hips are facing more towards third base. And watch the left foot, the front foot. Oops, I didn't want to clear my lines. So we're kind of like this. That's how we should be. Watch the direction the left foot's going to go. Towards third base, towards third base, towards third base, towards third base. You get my point. Hips are already open. There's really not very much hip to shoulder separation being created there. And again, this is a lot for an 11-year-old. But continues towards third base. Brody, you have a tendency to be a little bit what we call knock-kneed. And you can see when you land, similar to how you hit, you're going to land on the inside of your foot with your knee, I don't want to call it buckled, but kind of going in this direction. Okay? The challenge with that is it's not a very strong position to be in. So, if we watch continuing forward, okay, that foot plant, which is right there actually, but it should be right because you're not really heel to toe. You're kind of landing flat foot, which is fine. But right there, at that point, we shouldn't leak forward at all. We want to create that ground reaction force into the front foot and now really post up on that front leg and not have this knee move towards the pitcher or have it move, oh, didn't really mean to do that, have it move towards third base. And if we watch, it's going to continue to leak towards third base. So all the momentum that you're trying to create and all the ground reaction force that you're trying to create in a linear motion and land on that front foot and then really start the rotation of the hips around the front femur, you're leaking a ton of energy towards the third base dugout. And my guess is you can probably see that now that I've pointed it out. And part of that could just be a strength issue. Part of it could be the way you're striding. So I think you got to clean up that stride. And Ed, if this makes sense, a good little drill that I've been doing with my kid is he gets down in his squat. I toss him a ball and he pops up into and on his rear leg right here and then goes into like a flamingo pose similar to like the flamingo drill for hitting. And then he can feel his body get square to the target. His chest gets square to the target. You know what I'm talking about. So right there, and he would hold it, making sure he hasn't over-rotated or under-rotated. But again, if we watch that front foot, it's going in the wrong direction. So we create the force. The knee continues to leak. So think about it, Ed, right? I know you've been looking into some of this kinematic sequence type stuff too. We want to maintain that stability in that front leg and the hip and allow, at this point, that to rotate around the front hip. he kind of pushes into the hip, pushes in, and then here comes the arm. So the arm is dragging behind a little bit. I do love the spiral of his arm. I think it spirals really cleanly, really nice. Drags a little, but his release point looks to be at a pretty good spot too in terms of out in front of his front foot, which is really good. He gets some good thoracic extension here, but then kind of gets stuck. And I'm not sure, I know if you're doing some deceleration drills and stuff, I'm not sure if you're trying to get him to decelerate. Like, I like that he's keeping his back foot on the ground for a long period of time. I'm a believer in dragging the back foot. But I think I've recently seen you involved in some of the discussions about scissoring. And it almost looks like here he's scissoring while he's throwing. If you see what I mean. Head and eye stay level, really nice. That's great. Let's see, he's kind of equal and opposite at foot plant. Pretty good there. Brings his chest to the mitt, keeps the mitt inside his outside shoulder. But I wouldn't worry about having him try to decelerate here, if that's something that you might be doing. That finish just, I don't know, doesn't look that natural to me. So that's kind of what I see, guys. And I know you'll keep working on it. See that move, that direction? Try to get tighter. But that's all I got. Keep grinding. And I hope everything's well, my man. See ya.